In this demonstration, we will be showing you how to create a mask or tray, a bottle, vase, jar, or bank. The first step in making a drape slab project is learning to use the slab roller. First, take a piece of clay out of your bag and cut that piece with a wire clay cutter. Before you begin using the slab roller, you must roll your clay out thinner and roll it as wide as you need it to be, because the slab roller is only going to roll your clay lengthwise. Check and make sure the roller is parallel to the end of the unit. And girls should be careful that their long hair and strings and ties from aprons for boys and girls should be kept out of the way of the roller. Turn the crank on the slab roller, roll it once down the slab roller and back. Your clay is ready to use. In this next section, you will learn to use a slab of clay and drape it over the mold. A number of drape mold forms are possible to use. You can use the back of a dish or these sorts of plaster forms. After you've selected your form, drape your clay gently over the top. Using your hands, form the slab around the mold. The artist has made a finger's width mark around the edge of the mold. He's using that mark as a guide as he cuts the border of his mask. Clay scraps should be saved because these are useful in decorating your mask or other project. You will need to use a torch, a hair dryer, or heat gun to evaporate water from your draped clay so that it will become leather hard and hold the form if you want to work on it the same day. Students may not leave their clay draped on the mold overnight. It's important that the mold be processed to the leather hard state and removed from the mold. Leaving the clay on the mold may encourage cracking as the clay shrinks and the plaster mold does not. If there is time, the instructor may use a torch on your piece to evaporate the water and set up the clay. Or students may use a heat gun or blow dryer to set up their clay. When your draped clay is leather hard, you are ready to create a mask. To create your mask, begin with your leather hard form. Using your fettling knife, cut eye slits, a mouth slit,
Talk about these two holes in the top so that...
Cut the holes at the top of the mask. Make sure you place 2 holes, not 1. 2 holes will allow you to hang an off-center or asymmetrical decoration from your mask and still hang it straight on the wall. Use your leather hard scrap pieces to attach other features and decoration to your mask. Always remember to score your piece, clay slip, firmly attach the 2 pieces to each other, then use a wood modeling tool and smear the edges together. Again, begin with your leather hard form. Cut eye slits, mouth features, hanging holes, and decorating holes. Using leather hard scraps, design features and decorations and attach them by scoring, slipping, cross-stitching, and smearing together. And after firing, you can add feathers, rope hair, raffia, earrings, lots of interesting and visually exciting decorations.
Now we'll show you the next option for your project, which is creating a tray.
In creating a tray, you begin again with your leather hard drape mold form. Using your knife, cut a nice even edge. Damp sponge and smooth and round the edges. Glaze will not stick to sharp edges, and sharp, rough edges are a sure sign of an amateur piece. The artist has created some leather hard slab legs for his tray. Turning the drape mold over, he places the leather hard slab legs in position. The artist then scores and slips the pieces together, cross stitches and smears together with a wood modeling tool.
Your third option for this project is to create a bottle, vase, jar, or bank by connecting two drape molds together.
This has two options in creating a bottle, bank, or vase in joining the edges together. The first is to cut a horizontal cut along the edges of the slab. The second joining option for a bottle, bank, vase, or jar is to use your finger around the mold when you're creating the slab form and use that finger guide to cut a border around your drape mold. Then you take those two borders that extend from the slab and join them together by scoring and slipping the inside surface of those two borders together.
I'm just going to go ahead and put it together, cut the bottom off, put the bottom on, and so on.
The artist has elected to use the horizontal cut and join the edges of his forms together. Once the edges are prepared, the artist scores and slips them together. You'll notice that the artist is working the edges into each other. Sometimes the edges aren't a perfect match. You need to make them meet and nestle together. Cross stitch and smear your edges together with a wood modeling tool. Roll out a tiny coil of very soft, pliable clay. Take that coil and press it into your cross-stitched edge. The artist is paddling the coil flat on the edges. Using your tool, further smear and smooth the coil flush with the pot. By paddling and smoothing the coil, you create an interlocked edge that has a very smooth, even surface. After smoothing is complete, the artist will cut a bottom off the pot and add a flat slab, which becomes the base of the pot. If your pot doesn't sit straight the first time, use your fettling knife and shave and trim until it stands vertical. With the pot open, you can work on smearing edges together on the inside as well. Once the pot sits straight, take a second slab and set it under your pot. And trace around the pot. Take the pot off and use your fettling knife to cut out your trace design. Your base is ready to be scored and slipped onto the foot of the pot. Remember, score. Nestle the two pieces together. The artist is paddling the pot so that the base follows the curve of the pot rather than standing out flat and uneven. Using your tools, such as fettling knife or wood modeling tool, shave, trim, and smear edges together. At this point, your pot is ready to turn into a vase, bottle, or jar. The difference is simply how large an opening you cut and what you attach to the top. A bottle always has a very small opening, whereas a jar or a vase will have a larger cut at the top. Okay. The artist has cut a very stable, even, flat bottom for his pot. Notice the one on the right is very tippy. That pot has too narrow and uneven a base to be stable. The artist has decided to do an open vase form. Rather than cut a plain circle for the top, he's decided to cut a zigzag pattern. If you cut very carefully, you can turn your vase into a jar and use the cut top for a perfectly matching lid. The artist is working at smearing seams together and smoothing edges. An artist always finishes his piece by signing his or her name on the foot of the pot. It's easy to see that using the drape mold technique, an artist can make a variety of attractive pieces using color clay inlay, adding slab luster glazes, adding raffia and other decorations. The artist can